What's up, everybody?
What's going on?
We're here.
Getting my hair together. Last minute, I noticed it. We talking about hair, so
Yeah, you gotta look right. Mine is a weekend, so you getting what you get.
be like that sometimes.
Right, for real.
What's power? Where y'all at? Where y'all at?
It's good, everybody.
What's going on? Y'all know the demo.
Yes. And you notice we're wearing the merch today. Wearing the merch today. We'll probably end up doing another deal for the merch coming soon. Either for what, Christmas or New Year's, maybe both.
Probably like a New Year's thing, maybe a Christmas New Year's thing, maybe do both.
Yeah.
I mean, anything's possible. I feel like we can do that.
Because we need more people to get their hands on some of this merch, and we need some testers.
Maybe a Christmas Eve drop or something.
Yes.
It goes to Christmas night.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve. Yeah, we might do that.
Yeah, give y'all about a week. That actually works because it's a week, so we can do Christmas to New Year's.
Precisely.
And just that whole little gap can be the space of time where you could get things at a discount.
I rock with you on that. Shout out to whoever's in here with us. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Make yourself known. Let us know who's on.
Yeah, who up
so
in
we
here?
Can properly greet you. Because we do like to do that. We do like to do
For sure.
Like, look, we're old school. We like to address everyone that's in the house. You come in the house, you got to say hi. It's the only rule we have. Well, that and no weird racist stuff. Because we did have that once.
What's going on, Jerome? I see you out there on Facebook. What's up?
What's good, bro?
How you be? Hope you're doing all right.
Yes, sir.
If you are tuning in, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Help us out. Help us out. Help us out.
Yes, indeed.
Never mind one of my sides being out of order. Actually, it's perfectly fitting for what we're going to talk about tonight.
What are your sides? Oh, you talking about your...
Yeah, it's a little out of order up here, but I ain't worried about it.
I ain't gonna cap. I didn't notice that at first.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna fix it.
Well,
it is what it is.
You should have just played it off, G. Oh.
I hope y'all week has been going really good. Mine has been a combination. It's been busy for the most part. You know, the holidays. Holidays got folk working harder.
Yes, sir.
What kind of you trying to make a movie, Jerome? What's up?
Right. What's good with you? What's up, Cedric? What's good with you, man?
What's going on, brother?
It's good to see you, man.
It's power.
Yet another dope brother out here doing this music, man. That's what's up. Always give respect to the locals, man. Check his music out. Look, just like what his name says on here. Hold on. All right, yeah, he on there. Yeah, just like how his name says it on there, that's how you find it. I think you on Spotify, Apple Music, all those platforms, I believe.
How do we sound?
Right.
Does the audio sound good? Can y'all hear us clearly? Is the music too loud? Let us know something.
Oh yeah, we didn't do the surround sound this time.
Did not.
I didn't even think about it. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, Jerome said on Facebook. I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
NeRo, you feel like doing maybe some cameo or more work?
Yeah. If I got time.
some light acting.
Right. Look, if I got time, I'm down for it.
Oh yeah, especially for the people, especially for the community, especially for the culture, bro.
Exactly.
Especially for the culture.
This has to be done for it.
Just shoot the details. You already know.
Right.
You got my number.
Oh, nice. You got a new phone on Instagram.
Shout out. Hey y'all, for those of y'all who don't know, we are available on Facebook and Instagram. Black in a Minute Facebook page.
Black in a Minute podcast on Instagram.
Yep.
We took a minute to hop on the Instagram bandwagon, but we are here.
Yeah. And I mean, it's easy to find us. Everything is the Black in a Minute podcast. So yeah. Ain't that hard to find us? It's
really not.
Stopwatch. You already know. You see the red and black with the stopwatch. You already know what's going on. You know what time it is.
We had to make it work.
Whenever you see this, you know it's time for Black in a Minute.
I like that. So I like that. This is a phrase. I really like that. Sounds good. Have to play slab music for the one time. Oh, it's coming up. Because we're playing the whole list. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that ain't no thing. That ain't no thing.
Nope. Not at all. Let's see.
For those of y'all who are in tune with the music right now, we playing Sega by yours truly, NeRo AnGeLo.
I still gotta finish that video.
Links are in the description where you can find all of this man's music, as well as my poetry if you are into poetry.
Yes, indeed.
Spoken word.
23 Days a Night is still on there.
Yes, it is. But y'all, we ain't even gonna keep y'all that long tonight because most of this is gonna be a little bit of a rant. I ain't mad, but I feel it's important.
He's concerned.
This is overdue. And I had a little situation here recently that inspired this conversation we're gonna have tonight. If you read the description or you heard me rant about it, you know what's going on, Kiki. How you be?
What's good, Kiki? Kiki Nikoru. Also, look, I don't know if she want me to tell everybody, but she actually recently did a big chop. So, just a reformatting. So she definitely fits in with the subject that we're talking about, which is black hair. In its various forms. I mean, just between the two of us. What's up, Magic System? Between the two of us, we different. So,
Whenever I get some idle time to analyze every single moment that I don't like, it's just another make me think that I might.
But yeah, y'all, we gonna wait about like 4 or 5 minutes, and then we gonna get into the discussion. Because, like I said, this won't require a dissertation. Plus, me and NeRo both decided we want to come back to this discussion specifically with a group of men and women, particularly of the culture, of course, because we talking about black hair specifically.
Yes, indeed.
We need to revisit this conversation with some more
Voices
of our brothers and sisters.
Yes.
We need more voices, so
Definitely down for that.
be stay tuned because we will cover this in a roundtable discussion.
Right.
Hopefully, we don't have no more variants. Right now, Omarion running wild, touching everybody. But I digress.
I like to call it Omicron Persei 8.
However you identify.
Look, after
Either
that,
way, y'all be careful out here.
right after that Futurama joint, right?
We still in this is still a pandemic.
Yes.
Stop being risky.
Right. It's crazy out here.
Vaccinated or not, don't be a dummy.
Yeah, for real.
Don't be messy for no reason.
Right. Look out for yourself, man. Look out for yourself. That's the first thing you always have to do is check yourself.
Jerome, we gonna tap into it a little bit.
Yeah.
We're not doing as much origin, but we are just gonna talk about the current status quo of things because I think that's the most important.
Just certain things that do come up in relation to,
Especially these days, man. Wait till I get into it. But yeah, shout out to y'all. Like I said, like, comment, share, and subscribe.
right?
We're gonna have another sale coming up. I'm not telling you what the discount is, but there's another sale coming up for Black in a Minute merch. We gotta do y'all right for the holidays and for the new year. So we're gonna have some stuff coming here in about a week or two. Stay tuned, y'all.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But it's good to have y'all here, man. We definitely appreciate it. Certainly appreciate it.
Either way, Jerome, but I'm gonna let you share that here in just a moment because we about to get started here shortly. Like I said, we don't keep y'all tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I've heard about the origin of locks. It's been a while, but I've been brought up to speed on that.
He's talking about symbolism.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we gonna get into it.
I'm curious to see where he's gonna go from that because there is a concept that I know about.
When we talk about black hair, there's a whole ass diaspora.
Oh yes.
When it comes to black hair, and
Widespread.
I don't just want to talk about at least the general policing that happens. I really just want to talk about y'all thoughts and some of the criticisms because I had a little mini rant of sorts.
Right.
I ain't mad, but I'm gonna choose to spread some awareness in this format.
You're perturbed.
A younger me would have handled what I'm about to explain to y'all differently.
What's up, Kira Rob? What's good with you?
20. What's power? How you be?
Everybody gets one. Yes. Definitely a subject we all need to describe. I call them locks and not dreads. Ain't nothing dreadful about that style. Exactly. Especially if you do it well. I mean, you know we goofy, so I don't know why you surprised. Look, dang, right? Bro.
Jerome said, you know the red and black colors are Illuminati colors.
I did not know that. But I do also know that the red and black also symbolizes, unification of the diaspora.
Jerome, I'm wondering where you going with that?
Right.
Because your profile got the RGB in it.
Right. Now, I will
which
say,
ain't exactly the same, but I know with you,
right?
There's a method to your madness,
right?
So let me hear what you got today.
Actually, if you have some literature for us to check out concerning
resources are dope.
I'd definitely be down for that.
Resources are dope. Sharing is caring, y'all.
Yes.
Anytime we're having any of these discussions,
if you have resources that you can provide us,
you can drop them in the chat.
Yep.
We have a whole community for that as well.
Yeah. Nice. Listen, my friend, dropped me off from hanging out so I could make it to the live. Well,
shout out to you. Shout out to your friend. Tell your friend to get familiar.
Yes. Maybe not while they driving, unless they got a little thing they can prop up and they can just listen to it in the background.
Yeah, we don't want them to have no accidents.
But if they can listen comfortably, let them hop on.
Also, I want to take a moment to send my condolences to those out in Kentucky that were affected by the recent tornado.
I just saw pictures of that. That was ugly. I got some family out in Kentucky. I don't know if they were afflicted really, because I don't know exactly how close that area is. Most of what we got, we were just blessed to only get the wind and a little bit of rain. It's insane. But
yeah, y'all be careful out here. Okay, we got 9 people in here. What happened to be?
Here.
How it be, y'all? Like, comment, share, subscribe. Help us get bigger.
Yes, indeed.
So we can do this more frequently. So that we can do this with better quality.
Yes.
So on and so forth.
The better we get, the more efficient we get.
I'm glad to see it's quite a few of y'all in here because we're going to talk about hair.
This is a good subject.
We're going to talk about hair. And I'm going to get it set it off. I'm going to set it off.
I already know you ready.
I'm ready.
I'm already knowing you
ready. I'm ready. So, oh yeah, Jerome, we definitely gonna do that. You already know that.
Yeah.
You already know that. Jerome say that's why we need to have a sit down and break some bread and share some knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is key.
Yes.
We do not advance as a species without it. Knowledge and procreation is all it is.
Yes, sir. Hey. It's the only way to be.
But shoot, let's get to it, y'all. I want to start with the title of this podcast.
Yeah.
First of all, if the volume and everything is good, please drop a 1 in the comments. I want to make sure y'all can hear me clearly from what I'm about to say.
Yes, because it does need to be understood.
Because I'm about to drop a few bombshells real quick. And I don't want the music or anything drowning anything out. So please let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Please and thank you.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a minute while I organize myself. 1, okay, everything's good, okay.
All right. Thumbs up, that counts.
Okay, yeah, that'll count. A 1 or a thumbs up counts. Let us know what it be. So here's my thing, y'all. I think at this point it's been about a week and a half. About a week and a half ago, the guy, this man here, I was put on the internet by a fellow person of the culture, a brother at that.
Somebody you know?
Somebody I do not know. And it was a picture of the back of my head. Mm-hmm. Somebody took a picture of the back of my head and decided to put it on the internet. And they captioned it, "What the fuck?" Now, I'm going to tell y'all,
They could have just asked him.
The way I'm set up, first of all, I actually thought it was funny because my
Right.
sense of humor is kind of fucked up in that way. But also because I'm older now.
Right. Age,
A younger me,
age does grant wisdom.
would have probably directly responded to the post. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah, you would have came and found somebody.
I would have came, either found you, or at the very least I would have roasted your ass. And I say that with the utmost respect. Because in any other context at an earlier time in my life,
Right.
putting me out there like that, regardless of whether I know you would or not,
I mean, it's just
would have meant that I would have had to talk to you at the very least.
right.
Um,
Because that's an insult.
but what it actually did was inspire this live stream tonight. So y'all are getting this live stream tonight
Because
somebody
decided to be funny.
yeah, somebody decided they wanted to be funny and try to make an example out of it.
Right.
And I wasn't even mad at it. But it made me want to have this discussion with y'all. And I've seen this type of discussion had in several different outlets all over the internet. So we're going to talk about the way those conversations go. But I want to add a very specific element to this one that I don't feel is put out there enough. And the viewpoint is quite simple. To my colored people, especially my black people, as much as we complain
Yes.
about other people and other walks of culture
Yes.
and their denigration, as well as their policing of our hairstyles, why do we do it to each other?
Yes.
Why do we do it to each other?
And why do and how do we and why is it that we justify and how do we justify it?
Do y'all hear him? Because here's my thing. It's kind of like black on black crime and the black on black crime stigma, so to speak.
Yeah. Because it's disrespectful. It's a disrespect of a different kind, for real.
We have the utmost smoke for when anybody else do it. If it's anything career related, we got a problem with it. Because that's a big thing, right? Policing, black hair, and the work environments, right? In a professional environment, right? Furthermore, for those of y'all who don't know and have never seen my hair down, I have locks. I have a very specific type of style, so to speak, that's referred to as freeform locks.
Yep.
And essentially what that refers to is dreadlocks that aren't manicured or constantly done up and retwisted, as well as locks that formulate with little to much separation, meaning very natural, very unbothered and untouched.
Right.
Hence the craziness of the look of it. I'll unbundle my hair down. It's kind of coming down anyway.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to the chats in a minute because I got to get my rocks off real quick. So don't worry if you
Right.
said something in the chat.
I just posted up a question for everybody while he getting himself together.
So I've been growing my hair for about almost 7 years now. I love it. I've went through many stages with my hair. I remember when it was just spiky, looking like Chucky Finster and shit.
Huh. It has been 7 years. I didn't even think about that.
I've also had it where I've had even more hair.
Mhm.
I cut some off,
Yeah.
contrary to popular belief.
You cut the sides off.
I cut the sides off. I actually had another huge Congo in the back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of craziness to what this is.
Right.
And I understand it ain't everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
Personally, I don't give a damn. It's my hair. It's
Right.
my head.
It's what you do.
But because of this particular style that I chose to go with,
Excuse me.
which I went with because I liked the freedom of it.
Yeah.
I liked
I
the
can see
look
that.
of it.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I wanted to have a longer hairstyle. And I felt the way my life was going and some of the choices I was making was leading to a more minimal approach,
Yeah.
which honestly is what I prefer. I like a lot of abstract and other shit. to say it in the most lame of ways, for lack of better terms, I'm a different kind of motherfucker. And I'm okay with that. My problem is, though, is that apparently black people ain't got the memo yet. Apparently freeform locks, along with a lot of other things that have to do with black culture specifically,
Right.
are still unknown to most of our people.
Some of them are looked down upon too.
That too. So when they see something like this, they have their own preconceived notions about what they think is going on.
Right.
Oh, he just don't give a damn.
He
Oh,
not
he
trying.
nasty.
Right.
Oh, he going through something.
He'll
No,
watch.
this is all on purpose.
Right.
My hair gets washed probably more than most of y'all watching this damn video. No offense. I love y'all.
You probably watched it more than mine. Well, hit or miss, because my hair dries out too much if I do.
So I say all of that to say, and I need this to be heard loud and clearly, especially to black people. Mind your business.
There it is. There it is.
As a culture, we already get ostracized from our differences comparative to other people.
Right.
And we have been. We've been oppressed too by it. It doesn't make it okay, and it doesn't mean that that's going to be our reality forever. But with that being said, black people are not a monolith.
No.
I have to keep reminding myself, as well as others, that we are not a monolith, because we get caught up in this ethos that says we got to think the same, we got to support the same shit, we got to wear the same brands.
Homogeneity.
Yeah, and I'm mainly talking about all the facetious type of bullshit,
Yeah.
such as the styles. We got to wear a certain type of shoe.
It's trends.
The trends and shit, because that's where we really get hung up on this shit.
Right.
God forbid somebody wear a different pair of gym shoes. God forbid somebody wear a different type of brand that ain't in style. Especially when it comes to our people. We be tripping about the most bullshit of things. And one of the things that's really starting to get out of hand is how we treat some of our other folk
Yes.
when it comes to how we wear our hair.
Yes.
Listen, let me tell you something. And I know that the description was specific to natural hair,
Yes.
because I feel like natural hair still gets a lot of flack that not even synthetic hair gets,
Right.
in a sense, because
Hold
that's
on.
all the style.
Let's see. Kiara Rod 25, just to answer the question, she said, I got nappy a lot as a criticism, but it came with colorless comments. Most of my comments happened to me when I was young. Okay, I feel that. For me, my hair growth journey happened when I was young, when I was in high school. So I developed through that. Like I had ones where a lot of kids would, because I had my hair on the fro a whole lot back then, before it grew way too long. But like I had a whole lot of kids that would say jokes and stuff that honestly, if I looked at it now with the knowledge that I have, I wouldn't have seen it as innocently. It bothered me. Like I literally had somebody there were people who would walk around trying to call me a Q-tip. Yes, they were white. And a couple of them decided to be funny and say that my hair looked like a dirty Q-tip. So, you know, I used to keep a pick on me. I used to keep my hair so well picked out that it was just perfect fro.
It's funny you say that.
Right.
Because before I had the locks, right?
Yeah.
Especially in high school, I was the fresh haircut every week. I gotta have a brush so I can try to get some waves mud with the do-rag.
Smooth with the blade.
And I remember, even when I was young, you know,
Yeah.
it ain't too many of us black folk, to be honest with y'all, for those of y'all who don't know, that haven't had to hear nappy associated with us.
Right.
Even in situations where our hair was kept. Because nappy was always used as a term to describe unkept hair.
Yes.
Even though in reality a nap is a curl.
Yep.
A curl. That's what a nap actually is.
Look at this. Magic System said, yes, growing up, my mom would put grease in my hair and also put it up in a braided ponytail or braided ponytails. My white friends would tell me to straighten it, and my colored schoolmates would make fun of my hair. Yeah, look, when I actually used to get individual braids, I used to always get my hair in individuals. And because this was something that I guess a lot of people never really paid attention to in this area, because at the time, you know, it was a little shortly before 2010, you either had straight backs dreads or you had a fade. You know, I mean, there really wasn't much variation with male black hairstyles. So seeing that, I got called every Waka Flocka, every Lil Jon, every whatever else that they could come up with, right?
Man.
So it's just like, I used to receive a lot of flack for that. I'm like, and they'd be like, well, when you gonna dread your hair? I don't feel like it. I got an uncle that got dreads, and his is draping. But I'm like, that was never my choice.
If y'all ever want to know, like, really look into like some of the history of behind dreadlocks, but specifically, check out freeform locks. I made a post after that. I said,
isn't that kind of how dreadlocks started though? Because they were freeform.
But you know, people don't be knowing. People be ignorant.
Right.
Shout out to Basquiat.
Yeah.
You know, I referenced Basquiat a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, when I was talking, because I'm sure back when he was rocking freeforms, with his hair sticking up, looking like claws and antennas, when he had his antennas perked up, I'm sure people were like, what the hell is going on here?
Right. But somebody still wanted him. But we ain't gonna get into that. Hold on. Look. Kiki Nicole said, yeah, I got nappy, but I can't. But it came when I was 17, and that was when I went natural. And it was just mostly from black people. Just because you forget your roots and want to still hide ain't got nothing to do with me. Kiara Rob 25 said, my edges are still not filled all the way due to possible permanent damage from having perms since I was 4 years old. My hair texture was different from my mom and my granny's. Now see, this is something I didn't know for the longest time until I got into college. And I talked to other black women that I didn't know that kids was getting perms as young as 2 and 4 years old, sometimes younger than that.
You know, you never heard the term like kitty perm or like that?
I did, and honestly, I should have put 2 and 2 together because I seen some kids that would go in there and they would get their hair done like that.
Literally was a
but they was like 7 and 8. Yeah,
and part of
that
the culture.
That just for me ish.
The kitty perms and the kitty perms.
I always remember the just for me perms.
Yeah, with the little black girls.
Yeah. And they made it look cute even though they was suffering.
The kitty perms and the motherfucking they had the one for the guys too that was like had the older guy and like had like the little blue and the green box and stuff.
Look, let's not even get started on the texturizers. That's a whole nother story.
Man.
Look, Kiki Nicoro, I cut and straight and perm my hair because the kids would pull on it because it was long and different from their hair, and I think that truly messed me up. I wish I could go back and give my younger self the pep talk sis needed then. When I was a kid, I used to always want to grow my hair out. And part of that was because I lived in a mostly white neighborhood. Most of the other boys had hair that was not close cropped. So it was a little longer. Some of them had that Dennis the Menace bowl cut going on. Some of them just had a little bit more hair than I did. So anytime I had a little bit of hair on my head, I liked it. But I always used to get my hair cut. And now I ain't gonna front. My haircuts was fresh. I had the little part on the side and everything. But I hated it. I always hated going to
I didn't hate it, but I was one of those kids where I always got the bald fade.
Yeah, see, I hated that.
I remember when I did want to grow my hair out, right? Mm-hmm. It's one of the things I was like, I want braids. Right. My brother had braids. And I obviously had braids. Yeah. Whenever I seen braids, I was like, oh, that's the shit.
That's what I want.
That.
Look, there was one thing I wanted that I'm glad I avoided. Was that little cut open ponytail thing that they used to put where they had the high top and then they cut the little ponytail in the back. Oh, that little Padawan braid thing. Yeah, I'm glad that I was told no on that. That was a dumb idea.
I always wondered what the fuck was going on with that back in the day.
But you know what? Colorism does play a role. Because my cousin, if you've ever seen my cousin, he's taller and he's light skinned. So it's like, and we was 5 years apart, right? So he used to get every style that I wanted. He got to have the high top fade. I never had a high top fade. He got to have braids. I never had braids when I was a kid. Until I got into high school. I never had any deviation of style in my hair until I reached high school. And like halfway through, you know what I'm saying? Like he got to have that. He got to have braids. He got to have that little funky, weird ponytail thing. I don't miss that. But he got to experiment. And I used to ask my grandmother, I'm like, my grandparents, I'd be like, why is it? Because like, why can't I grow my hair? And it's like, well, we don't need. It's like, you don't need your hair getting grown out. You want to look like some little girl or something? I'm like, Donald gets to. It's like, yeah, because Donald's mama takes him over to do it, and that used to always be the excuse, right?
That right there.
Look, and even with and even though I will say, look, even though I will say, I'm kind of thankful for how this worked because it made me appreciate my hair a lot more. Whenever I wanted braids, I had to pay for them. I had to seek out the person to do it because there were a couple ladies from my church who did my hair, who used to do my hair. Shout out to my homie CJ's mama, Miss Rashida. She used to get me right all the time, and she used to not even want to charge me. She'd be like, "Oh, it ain't nothing," you know. Especially if she did some straight backs, it ain't take that long, right? And she'd be like, and my grandmother would be like, "Well, what does he owe you?" You know, don't think I'm not loving. Look, I love my grandmother, but this kind of hurt. She used to be like, well, what does he owe you? And she like, well, he ain't got to pay me nothing. She's like, no, he needs to pay for it. So I had to pay to get my hair done.
I definitely
had to pay out of pocket to get my hair done.
I definitely noticed that growing up, like, and I still think that's a thing,
right? Where,
and you know, I'm gonna say some because I can't speak for all, but I've definitely heard this being a thing, especially within Black culture, about Black men and especially Black women feeling a particular way about Black men having longer hairstyles.
Yes.
Which is a whole nother thing in itself. I just happened to be one of those kids where I didn't get to have the hairstyles when I was young.
Right.
So what ended up happening was when I got older, I started to experiment a little bit. You know, I did the mohawk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care what nobody say. My version of the mohawk was better than what Muggs was doing at the time because everybody was doing the stereotypical jerk boy shit. Anyway, I had to get that off.
Long as you ain't had that little twist mohawk, that joint was weird.
I did not have that.
That thing was like up to here.
I did not have that.
Okay, good.
There was a kid at my school that did. Shout out to Larry. Larry had that. And they chose his hairstyle over mine, knowing damn well my shit was better than that. Had all the designs and everything.
There it is.
It was better than that box eraser shit he had. But shout out to you though still.
But hold up. Magic System said I also permed my hair a few times so I would feel like I fit in. Now I've been keeping it natural. That's good.
Good.
You know what? You know what's funny? When I started with my hair, I was so obsessed. I became so obsessed with it looking perfect, right? So whenever I used to comb my hair, like, dude, I used to make sure my fro was perfect in high school, right? I could show you pictures, bro. And then when I started actually getting it braided, sometimes I would get it blown out before they were braided. I bought my own straightener to straighten my hair to do it because so that way it would be easier and it would drape more. The problem was I got so obsessive with it, I messed up my own ends because I was over straightening them and redoing it. Like, and that's what some parents don't understand, and some like Black parents need to understand this. You can cause your child to have a complex about their own hair and their own appearance without really trying, because you're considered a source of influence. You know what I'm saying? Legitimately, when I would have my hair straightened, it would be like out down to here, right? I mean, it was still out, it was still frizzy, because I had straightened it, right? And I remember one time I had my hair out like that, and I was eating breakfast with my aunt, and my granddaddy came in. He's like, ain't it great that I get to come in and sit down and eat with my wife and my two daughters? I'm like, bro, really? Like, and he made a couple other jokes like during that same week. As a result, for the longest time, when my hair got too long to fro, I would always keep it tied back. Especially when I would get it straightened, I would always keep it tied back. Like, it got to the point where it took a long time for me to reappreciate my hair. You know what I mean? I went through a lot of stages with it too. Like, I'll say learning a lot of hair care. Look, dating the right women will teach you a lot about learning how to take care of your hair. I ain't gonna cap. I used to borrow some of my ex-girlfriend's hair products. So I actually helped one of them with their big chop. So I mean, look, I learned a lot, okay? So as a result, you know, it was good because it was like most of the girls I dated were natural. So we would learn together. You know, we watch the same videos. Be like, oh, I need to figure out what my pH is about. I need to figure this out and learn this, right? Cycle through different products to learn how to do it. You know, now what I struggle with is I get product buildup too quick. So everything I use has to be oil based or water based. Because anything that's like cream based, it don't do no good. It has to strictly be on the ends of the hair. Otherwise, because if it touches the scalp, I flake up too quick. You know what I mean? And it might just be my scalp going through a different change. I don't know. But for me, no judgments. For me, my hair journey was one that revolved around pride. I learned to take pride in my hair in high school. I would literally threaten to fight kids. You know how many times I carried a pick around me all the time, right? I had white kids that would bother me and be like, "Can I touch your hair?" No. "Can I touch your hair?" No. Try to touch it anyway. There was a couple times I threatened to stab a few of them. I ain't gonna cap. I was like, bro, unless you want 11 holes in your neck, you're gonna stay away from me.
The "cannot touch your hair" thing is
nauseating.
It's real. Personally, for me, it
black
depends
folks
on
do it
who
too.
It is. Yeah, black folks do it too as well. For me, it depends on who it is.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I don't really let people touch my hair.
No, because half the time they sitting there putting their hands all in it. Like, bro,
I make
stop touching my hair.
There's only a few exceptions to that rule. I don't really like people just touching me.
Right.
So let alone touching my hair.
And see, there's been a couple times where black women have violated and been touching on my hair, and I'm like, bro, I don't know you. What are you doing? You know,
excuse me.
There was a couple times that I had my hair tied back, and because it was like slick back, it looked like I had a fade, like I had cut my hair down. And one white person slipped up at the job one time. It said, "Oh, yes, I counted the prongs in the pig." I'm glad you noticed that. I was very exacting about my threats. All right. Look, I was a violent child. All right? Look, I ain't gonna count. But I had my hair tied back, right? So you couldn't see. There were no parts or anything because it was pulled back and it was just out, right? And they couldn't see the ponytail in the back. He was like, "Oh, so you finally cut your hair?" I turned my head to the side. He was like, "Oh." I'm like, "Yeah, bro, it's just tied back." You know what I'm saying? But it's the literal fact that things like that incited different reactions in both black and white people. Castro87 said in high school they used to make fun of me for having a giant afro and say I put Crisco in my hair, or they pretend to hide pennies in my. Oh my God! Yes, the freaking pennies. I had a dude. Look, no, because this happened to me. I had a dude. He was stupid. He threw quarters in my hair to see if they would stick, and then got mad when I wouldn't give him back. Bro, I know I got at least like $2 off this man because he was doing it throughout our English class. Teacher didn't say nothing about it. Kids are sitting there laughing, thinking it's cute. And then he got mad. He's like, "So can I get my money back?" No. Dude ended up riding on my bus that day and was following me like, "So when am I going to get my money back?" You're not going to get your money back because you decided it was cool and it was disposable enough to throw in my hair, bro.
You just reminded me of something that I kind of just like swept under the rug for like over 2 years. I remember I was at work. I worked at a like little casual dining place, and I remember one of the supervisors. I was a white lady. She literally took my name tag, and she clipped it onto my lock, bro. She clipped it onto my lock. It was like the magnetic kind,
just unsolicited.
Yes, I didn't ask her to do that shit.
Unsolicited hair touching. Hold on, let's see. Not the hiding stuff in the hair was childish. They put paper in mine, and one girl they put gum in before. Look, if somebody would have God knew better, because if somebody would have put gum in my hair, I would have got suspended that day, because I would have beat the snot out of somebody. I wouldn't have cared how much trouble I would have got in. I wouldn't have cared what they would have did. I would have beat the brakes off of somebody. I think they just learned to accept the threat. Because there was a couple kids who tried to make jokes saying you gonna cut. It was like, "Man, I'll cut your hair." I'm like, "Boy, I will shove them clippers down your throat and watch them tear up your esophagus." Look, I was brutal as a child. Right?
Even to this day, I don't know how often. And I'm gonna tell y'all something.
Somebody would have had to die
You know,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kiara Rod 25 said hers got cut in the fight, and then she said, "Let's go into details about the laws about our hair throughout history. There is no reason why laws are now in effect for no discrimination against black hair at the workplace." Ooh, yeah. Your hair looks like pubes. SMH. Yeah, that.
man.
Like I said, I got the dirty Q-tip. Yeah, the pube. I think somebody tried to make that joke saying it looked like pubes. Somebody tried to say they look like dreads, and I'll correct them. These are braids. How can you not tell the difference between dreads and braids? And these are black folks. And they going like, well, why don't you just get dreads? Because I don't want them.
Which is why I wanted to make sure, and I'm gonna reiterate this again. Black people, colored people, because y'all do it too.
Yep. Sometimes we
Stop
the worst
policing
offenders.
other black people on how they wear their hair.
Yes.
And if you ain't familiar with it, get familiar. You don't know how many times I had to hear somebody tell me, hey, so, you know, we don't get them twisted. I'm like, have you never, ever, and you know what, it's even okay. I don't even get to the point where I be trying to be condescending about it.
Right.
I'm like, okay, clearly you ain't never seen nobody with freeform life support.
Right.
You never actually seen somebody
With freeform.
you've not actually seen somebody that doesn't have their dreads retwisted like every week or two.
Right.
Like, not everybody dreads that way.
Right.
The hair dreads naturally by itself. I didn't have to do this shit. It does it.
What's up, Shaiman, man? I missed your message, dog. What's good, bro? That's my homie Shy. That's his son, man. I've known this.
We
since he
will,
was a kid,
Jerome.
kid.
We will, Jerome. Don't
Cool.
you worry about that. We will.
But
Peace
yeah,
out,
man.
brother.
For real though, like, you know, legitimately, there were ones. I had black women that was telling me when I was a freshman in college. It was like, well, you know, eventually you're gonna have to just cut your hair, and they gonna say, well, it's like what? And I'm like, why? It's like, because you like, you know, you're gonna have to grow up eventually. I'm like,
Bro, do you look? I literally had a young lady that I used to speak to back when I was earlier in my lock stage, where it was still like spiky hair.
mm-hmm.
Literally asked me when I was gonna get it cut. I was like, why?
Right.
She was like, well, because, you know, eventually, you know, you'll be older and everything. I'm like, what they got to do with anything?
Right.
And to basically insinuating that, hey, this is kind of childish. And at some point you need to grow up, so you need to cut your hair.
Yeah.
I'm just like, huh?
Right. Look, Kiki Nikoto just said it. They're so used to hiding themselves from the days when we were trying to fit into a standard to come into white America that has been passed down too deep and rooted itself in our culture. But we're growing. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I love my grandmother to death. I love my mama to death. I love my grandfather to death. But they used to grill me about my hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mama used to make jokes about my hair and stuff because her hair was always straightening in a ponytail. She didn't even build up the confidence to cut her hair until I turned 20. You know what I'm saying? So, and she still kept perms. And it's like, I don't even know why you keep perms. Your hair is long enough. And even she went through it because when she was younger, she had her hair super long. Because my mom's hair was always super long when I was a kid, right? It was always like down her back. So yeah, I ain't never understood what it was like. Like most of the women in my family that I was around, in my family never had like a whole lot of weave or a whole lot of stuff or a whole lot of hair issues. So a lot of them didn't overdo makeup. So these are two experiences that I had later on with women with that. But there was ladies who would be like, "Oh, your hair feels so nice." They were feeling for tracks to see if she had tracks in her hair.
Look, you listen, bro. It's funny you mentioned tracks.
Bro.
I kid y'all not. As earlier as a few months ago, y'all don't know how many times at work people ask me, "Is this my real hair?"
Oh, yeah.
They really be thinking this shit is fake.
I used to get that too.
Why would I fake what this is? Like,
Where would you get that? Like I can understand when they asked me that. Like when I was 17,
Is that your
and
real
I had
hair?
my hair in individuals, and it was straightened, so it was longer. Look, so my stuff was like down to here, bro. I was looking like Stevie Wonder without all the beads and stuff. And there was a couple girls going, "Is that all your hair? Is that?" I'm like, "Is that all yours?" Because I don't know where to even get weave, bro.
And, you know, it's funny because
Right.
I've also heard little side comments here and there.
Mhm.
Because, you know, if you know, you know, like sometimes I'm specifically talking about as it relates to my hair.
Right.
But you know when people talking about you, especially when you stick out in some way, shape, or form. And, you know, people be like, look at it, look like, you know, what's that?
Oh,
you know?
look. I used to look. Hold on. Castro87 said, "Why is it we always have to be clean cut for an interview?" Yes, I put it in quotes. Look, long hair or locks on a black man is usually a no for a callback. If my name wasn't Thomas, I wouldn't even get a first interview. Dog, if my first name wasn't Matthew, I probably wouldn't get it.
Mine is Charles, so hey,
Look,
hey,
right,
the three fucking stooges.
right. We out here.
Look,
But you know what? For real though, I would never go. You're right, because I would never go to an interview with my fro out. I would always have it twisted back in a style or something like that. And I never had no flack from any of my employers concerning that, because my first employer was black and it was at a college, so that wasn't no thing. Second employer was second and third employer was at retail stores, and now I'm a caseworker. So as a result, I ain't really worried about what my hair looked like. You know what I'm saying? My boss is like my immediate supervisor is white and has hair as long as I am. As mine is, and he keeps it tied back and it's curly.
For point of reference,
So, I mean,
I'm a store manager, so we also say all of this to say, because this is another thing I get tired of.
Professionality, all that.
Professionalism in the workplace and hairstyles. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I wouldn't work for nowhere that felt the need to tell me that I couldn't wear my hair the way I was gonna wear it.
Right.
A place that won't let me wear my hair that grows out of my scalp. Where the fuck I want to wear it, when I want to wear it, ain't a place that I can work in.
Right.
That might mean there's a lot of places I don't work. I don't give a fuck.
Because it's your integrity.
It's my integrity. It's
and
my body.
Yes.
Look, I'm like, hey, look to the pro-choice women. My body, my choice.
Look, beyond that, look, there's tons of white girls that be walking around with tie-dye hair colors and they style.
All of that.
Look, with no touched up roots, and they work everywhere. Okay, so I don't look, and you can tell their hair is dried out.
And here's another thing.
No, with every piercing known to man, no.
Every job ain't gonna do y'all like that.
No.
Some man.
If your resume shows that you are consistent and you're doing the work, bro. The hiring pool is so bad now. You can probably walk in with a whole hairball in your head. You can get in if your credentials good enough. Because here's my thing. What they gonna see is this degree. Look, hold on. Look, because the haircut community stepping up. Males got lace fronts and add-ins now. Look, Rob 25 said it's the disrespect of asking about fake hair anyway. Don't ask if I went from Tony Braxton to SZA. Castro said I was wearing a do-rag while serving in Texas Roadhouse. F out of here with a do-rag protecting my starter locks. Right. Look, they got whole bonnets on doing all kinds of other stuff. All right. Ain't nobody talking about Robert's frosted tips. Okay.
I don't even got one near me right now. But y'all know sometimes y'all see me on stream, and I have my hair wrapped up and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
and I wear it just like that too where I work, because fortunately I'm in a work environment where nobody cause no problems with it. They respect it. It's a way of life for me. So no, it ain't as simple as cutting my hair.
Right.
I wouldn't do that.
Right.
People ask me every other day,
ain't no thing.
You ever plan on cutting your hair?
No.
And I usually tell them no, or not anytime soon.
Right.
Because I don't fucking know.
I trimmed my ends, but that's because my ends was looking nasty. And I was like, man, it's time to even out.
And even I have done a little bit of look.
Yeah.
I had to cut off the sides just to be able to do the ponytail.
Right.
Because with the freeform, I had too much Congo to do all of that.
Oh yeah, because those two big ones is on the side.
Bruh,
Yeah.
Wasn't going nowhere.
But you know what? Like for real though, my whole thing has always been look, I make sure I do make sure I'm presentable, like quote unquote presentable. Like I try to keep my hair up like every other week. That's why every week y'all see me, it probably gonna look somewhat different. But that's me. That's a personal preference. That's a personal preference I have, right? Then I ain't gonna be walking around just looking like whatever. But at the same time, my brother here, he like it. He like his Congos, bro. He like it. I love it. Look, Auntie Charlotte, aka Sid's alter ego, rap, LOL. Hey, Auntie. Right. Look. Here's my thing, though. Here's my thing about that, though, is the fact that while white and black folks say so much about this stuff, a lot of them, look, if you look back, especially on our parents and grandparents and a lot of stuff they was doing with their hair, look, I never realized that hair dye was such a serious thing in the black community until I went to a couple other churches and I realized why these folk hair, I was like, why is this 50-year-old man's hair blacker than mine?
Look, you know now secretly the secret's out. That's another reason why I don't really care too much about comments regarding my hair,
right?
Especially from other men,
right?
Because if you know, like I know, you know that a third of all men suffer from male pattern baldness,
right?
And this is not a minoxidil, a Just for Men, or any of that ad. We are not sponsored. This ain't none of them commercials. But I'm here to say this: a lot of y'all losing y'all hair anyway.
Because you don't take care of it.
Because you don't take care of it. One, you ain't got no hair to lose. Like, and I get it. If you took care of your hair better,
you care.
Maybe you'd actually have something to show for it. Maybe you wouldn't be going
bald. You know what? A lot of them that lost a lot of their hair is because they was using those. Let's not talk about the Jerry curl. They was using them Jerry curls and texturizers. I remember a dude who sat there and fronted, was faking the front because he had a texturizer in, and he talking about like, yeah, my sides be because I was talking about how like when my hair would grow out on my sides, I'm like, yo, it would curl out a whole lot. He's like, yeah, mine does too. I'm like, really? And I'm looking, I'm like, but I had never seen him with his hair kind of grown out, so I never knew. And then somebody busted him out. I was like, that man sitting there talking about his natural curls. He got a texturizer. I was like, oh. Hurt feelings portion already. Damn, I'm like, hold up. Castro 87. My dad is the king of dye. LOL. Dang, what's the brand name? My mom been killing my dad for years. He always on the dye. Look, my granddaddy tried it one time, I think in the 90s, and it got so bad because it got everywhere that he just gave up on it. Man. But you know what? My grandmother, though, see, I don't feel like I'm going to get this lucky, but my grandmother, her hair only started graying when she hit her late 60s, and her grays look like highlights. So what she would do is she would just get those colors, a different color, like slight red tinge or whatever. So they would just look like highlights. And even without it, it still looks kind of cool, right? Look, one interesting thing I got to do while my grandparents were in the rehab center, and they were getting their bodies back together. One thing I got to do was I got to do my grandmother's hair, and I did them in some twists. So I did them in some individual twists, and they look because she's been keeping her hair natural because her current hairstylist won't perm her hair, so she just does like silk presses or curls it, right? And so she's growing her perm out. So I was twisting it up. I think I showed y'all that picture. Yeah. And I was like, look, I hooked her up. And she's like, oh. I'm like, well, what do you think? She's like, I like it. And Bubba's like, oh, you did something different with her hair.
But bro, Javar, speak to this, man.
Right.
Cause this is another, this man here is another member from the infamous Fro Gang, from the Braid Gang. This is another man that used to walk around with a giant fro and braids.
Right, him and probably about 15 to 35 of his cousins. But
come on now.
But man, like for real though.
Folks hate that natural hair.
Right.
They hate that you ain't got to do stuff to it. They hate that you got the audacity to look the way you look.
Right.
They hate that people like the way you look in spite of it.
The thing that gets me, the thing that always gets me.
Because I promise you the hair ain't slowing nothing down.
No. Look, here's the funny thing to me. The funny thing to me is that there will be girls who'll be like, "Oh, you must have some good hair." I'm like, and I always correct them. I'm saying, "No, I just learned how to take care of it." Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I used to pick shit out of my hair. Okay, that was a terrible decision. My ish was really was a straight freaking no road game. Get out. Go home.
Never.
Go home. But no, like for real, like I'm
Foolish.
right, man. People used to ask me if I had weave in every time my hair was braided because it was down to my shoulder. Yeah, me too, bro.
Talk about it.
Look, I used to trip out my customers and some of my coworkers. They'd be like, "Your hair looks different like every other week." I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I change it up." Now I had to slow that down because I realized I was over manipulating my hair. But it's one of those things of like, bro, you're not just gonna see me looking rough, and if you catch me on a rough patch, you got lucky. You know what I'm saying? Even with the beard, you know what I'm saying? Like I try to keep myself up. I don't go to a barber. You know what I'm saying? And that's not me being cocky or anything. Really, it's me being cheap and efficient. But
every once in a blue moon, I have my boy get me lined up or something. But for the most part, these days, I don't have any reason. I don't have any reason to go to a barber or anything. No. I ain't been to a barber, so to speak, and like I don't know. It's like literally like seven-ish years.
I ain't gonna cap.
I don't miss it, bro. Especially how much it costs to get your haircut these days.
Yes,
for a good haircut. Shit.
I haven't been to a barber. I haven't been to an official, like a real barber, since prom.
Hell
junior
yeah,
prom, bro.
Not only is it an insult,
junior, senior prom.
This shit don't make no sense. Look,
don't.
And no disrespect to the women. I really say that shit don't make no sense. For the most part, when you have the male persuasion.
Yes.
Like last I checked, regardless of sexual preference or orientation, men don't just be out here like that wearing fake hair.
I mean, they are now.
No, I know. I'm saying in general, though.
Oh, yeah. And especially back in the days when they were saying this stuff.
It's not really a thing.
Right.
So, like, for that to be your first question to ask,
right?
You asking me if my hair real or not?
You already got a complex going on and you don't know it. Barbers want your rent money for haircuts today, bro. See?
Your rent money, the lottery money, that money in the shoebox.
Part of your soul.
Shit. Stripper money.
Mortal soul. Like, them ones that you snuck in your shoes because you thought nobody was going to get you. Yeah.
Them damn ripped up dollars that you keep trying to tape together that you eventually going to get to somebody when you're not ashamed to give them out. Shit.
Look, bro.
Oh. What's wrong with y'all?
Bro. I mean, it just be like that. Look.
And let it be known, for those of y'all just jumping in,
right?
We are going to have a part 2 of this discussion
absolutely.
with other men and women.
Yes.
Because we want to chop it down.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
We ain't going to belabor the point too much tonight.
But just know it's going to get talked about.
Yeah, we're going to bring this back up because there's so much that really goes into this discussion.
And honestly, there's some of them. It's like, a lot of our queens now is getting short hair, and they keeping it close cropped and lined up and stuff like that. It's like, okay, look, by all means.
As it relates to our culture, we've literally flipped it so bad,
right,
to where the culture of fake hair is prolific.
Yes. And sometimes it's just used to add on to style. It just adds on. You know what I'm saying?
And I mean, if that's you, different strokes for different folks. Personally, it's not my kind of thing.
Right.
It ain't my kind of thing. Not necessarily something I really care for or like.
It's not.
But I understand. I understand why it exists.
Yeah.
Like I understand what has caused this to be. The different things, especially as it relates specifically to our culture. Because I know that extensions, fake hair, wig, weaves, all these things are not unique to our culture. But different cultures have different meanings to what this dynamic has become.
But if you look back at Egyptian culture, they did that for ceremonial purposes. You know what I'm saying? they had different hairstyles. And I mean,
hair
look,
pieces, yeah.
Look, I ain't about to sit there and have no descendant of anybody who used to wear a powdered wig that stressed out their scalp to say anything about mine. All right? I'm just saying. If you took George Washington's little wig off,
Right.
that man be bald by the head. He probably had bugs in that mug, man. Look, go and check out the history of Versailles. The people that used to stay in there, bro, that was one of the nastiest places in the world. And all of them was wearing them joints. And yeah, you might have a little creepy crawly up under that thing eating at your scalp. Look, we are not the first. I don't know how many white girls I knew when I was in school that I didn't figure out weren't natural blondes until we got into sophomore, junior year. And that's not even me being funny. I'm serious. I didn't know. And I was like, when you a blonde? I thought I was tripping. You know what I'm saying? I was like, am I going crazy? Look, yes, sir. Look, yes, sir. Look, shoot. But you know what? I don't judge it. I don't even trip. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Because everybody's different. Everybody has different preferences. Like, just learn to love yourself, bro.
I'll be straight up. I judge it because I think most people judge it. But what I don't do is I don't use it for condemnation.
No.
I don't feel the need to be like, oh, this, that, and the third. I might think however I think about it.
If
it is what it is.
It works for you, it works for you. You know?
But when you go out of your way, like how this person chose to do me.
Right. Now we got to go get you.
Clearly you behaving in a improper way.
Now we got to come get you.
Now, thankfully, in the case of you, my brother, thank you because you inspired this particular talking point and the future group discussion that's going to happen because of it.
Right.
So shout out to you. And, also shout out to me for being delivered because I promise you 5 to 10 years ago when something like this happening,
you would have said,
I mean this in the utmost respect.
You'd have tried to send that man to the shadow realm.
But I would have been coming for you.
You would have tried to send that man to the shadow realm. We already know.
And if you are watching at home,
if you know,
you take with that what you will.
You'd have sent somebody home.
But y'all.
He gonna cry in the car.
Let's get out of this. Let's get out of this.
Right.
Like,
okay.
It would have been cold if he actually just asked me about it.
Right.
I might have been able to teach him.
Why not just DM somebody about their hair? If you're really that curious.
Yeah, like he literally tried to make an example out of me. Oh, shout out to one of my boys who saw it. That was a friend of him on Facebook.
Oh, the Adolf Hitler weirdo's back. That's what.
I ain't nobody worried about that.
Oh, yeah, no.
And made him take it down. You know what I'm saying?
See.
Shout out to my bro.
Let's see.
We currently stationed in a smaller area to where it's easy to do stuff like that. If this was a bigger place, that probably would have lasted a lot longer. But y'all, we got to stop doing that. Ignorance is bliss, and just because you're ignorant don't mean do stupid shit. That's not how it works. If you want to know something, if you want to become more aware of something, just ask.
Right.
Furthermore, let people be how they're gonna be. Same way we supposed to be accepting of people's sexual preferences and orientations and stuff. And I know there's still some people that are not accepting of it. It is what it is.
Everybody has a choice in life.
Everybody has a choice, and everybody has something that makes them unique.
Of Twitch. GZDR for Ev. I don't really know who that is, but
shout out to you.
But shout out to you. You're going to have to tell me how you say your name. I work retail, and I was told that if I wanted to get promoted to manager, I would have to cut my cornrows. Yet a fellow worker who happened to be white was allowed to have long rock star hair and had no problems getting promoted. Bro, contest that.
Examples like that.
Contest that.
Examples like that is why instead of conforming to somebody else's bullshit that makes you uncomfortable, you should get in where you fit in. I guarantee you there's a career field with a pay that's good enough for you or better to where you can live and be you as you want to be.
And beyond that, if they want to sit there and be weird about that, if they want to sit there and be weird about something stupid like that, let them.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. The worst they can do is take you home.
And look,
all right,
I'm going to tell y'all, truth be told, and I know different strokes for different folks. It ain't this person, it ain't that person in the situation. I am here to tell you now.
Jabbar said he had a feeling that's why this was the topic.
Oh, yeah. There are plenty of people
had to send somebody home
that live their comfortable truth, whatever that looks like, whether it's their hair, whether it's what's in their pants, whether it's how they think and are successful.
Yes.
So don't ever conflate that shit to success.
No.
I'm especially saying this to my brothers out there, because y'all be the main ones that be in these professional settings trying to have these locks and other styles as such. And you do not have to settle for that level of success if it means you got to cut your hair. There are other options in 2021 going into 2022. You can do a multitude of things. This is not 1980 and it ain't the 90s no more.
Live your truth and please wash your ass. Yes, please do.
Yeah.
Please wash the barnacles out your booty. All right, man. That's disgusting. But here's one thing. Here's another thing that I want to bring up is I remember I was on a panel. It was like a panel or like a group for Black Student Union. It was some years back, and they were talking about this specific story, this concept, the concept of black hair and black natural hair, right? Mm-hmm. When they were describing, because I know, it was a black girl who made the PowerPoint. I'm not knocking it, but I was there to represent. You know, me and one of the homies was there to represent. Look. When they posted up, they were talking about they had like different black hairstyles for women, right? They had like 5, 6 different ones. Now, of course, we know there's more than 5, but it was varying, right? You know, they had the buns, the dreads, the twist, the different, the sister locks, all that stuff, right? Because all that stuff was getting popular, and even the fro, the mini fro, all that, right? The men, they had like 2. They had close cropped haircut. I don't even think they had a fro in there. Braids, maybe like the straight back braids and dreadlocks. And I commented on it. I was like, you know, I find it funny that even in the midst of this, we're still being limited. I'm like, my hairstyle that I'm wearing right now isn't on that picture. And I'm not saying that there should have been a whole giant Venn diagram of every single style, but it's the fact that whenever it's talked about, and this is no knock to the sisters, because I know y'all get it worse than we do. I do know that. Because I know one girl who had to do a whole internship and keep a bun in her hair. Her whole internship. Because they was acting different about her natural hair. Shout out to my sis Naisha. But it's the fact that there's still a degree of relegation when it comes to black men and their hair. In that y'all want all this freedom, but at the same time, you don't want your mans over here, your brother over here, to have that same freedom to wear his hair the way he wants to.
Preach.
So it's yes, there are varying styles, and they are black styles, but they are black styles that are considered desirable to a particular person.
Listen.
And I'm like, look, bro, and here's my thing. I'm like, look, if I went by that thing, I shouldn't have no hair because I never had dreads or locks. Never had locks in my life. I used to have my hair close cropped and cut short, but I never liked it. And I used to get straight backs all the time, but I don't do that anymore. At least not as much, right? So where does somebody like me fit in? Am I just a unicorn? You know what I'm saying? And just going back to what Kiki Nicoda said, I'm glad that there is more representation and safe places now being publicized for our hair and the many forms that it comes in. The problem that I do have is that sometimes they have black representation for the wrong things. I was sitting in the DCS office because I was going to be in a meeting, right? And I happened to catch this out the corner of my eye. It was a picture of a light-skinned black girl with her hair tied back and it was curly. And it said, "Are you trying to quit heroin or any other drugs?" And I was like, are you serious? Like, I know that's something that's a microaggression, but I noticed that. I'm like, bro, I've been in this office since I've started working at this place in the last 2 months. I've been in this office over 5 times. And he
took the glasses off.
Most of the people that I be seeing in there that are suffering from those things don't look like that girl in that picture. Shoot, I remember when I interned at the therapy side of my job, of the job I currently have. Out of every group that I sat in on, every single group that I sat in on, every black person but one was in there for something that was basically weed, alcohol, or gambling. There was only one that was in there for meth. All the rest of them, yes, exactly. Look, don't get me started on that conversation too about certain brothers and sisters that be hooking up with members of the opposite sex and the opposite race, and then want to whine and cry because that other side doesn't understand their kids' hair. You just wanted the curlier variant of what you got, and you mad that they cutting their hair like, oh my God, it's gonna ruin it.
That's a whole
I had a dude slip and say this. We ain't got there yet. I had a dude slip and say this. He was like, man, if they cut their hair, it's like now their texture is gonna come out looking more like yours and mine. And I'm like, what are you trying to say, sir? Which, first off, the reason yours looks like that is because you don't comb yours, because you didn't have that same ponytail in for the last 4 weeks that I'd seen you. Yes, I noticed. 2, here's my thing. While I am in agreement that you shouldn't just sit there and cut some child's hair because you got an issue with it, but here's my thing. Don't ever come at my hair to use as a descriptive term for how nappy your child's hair is gonna get. Because first off, nappy ain't even really a term that's used properly. Secondly, if you take care and you moisturize your hair, you be fine. Thirdly, I seen this man girlfriend and she don't moisturize her hair.
Wait a minute.
Because she was sitting there, she's sitting there taking the naps out of her ends.
Yikes.
And yes, she was white.
You said gnats?
Naps.
I thought you said
gnats. White folk get naps too. Because they be drying their hair out putting all that color in there. And they don't realize that you have to moisturize.
Mane and tail.
You have to take care of it. Look, it don't matter what type of hair you got. You have to take care of it or else it's not going to look right. That's pure dot. I've seen both sides, bro. Hold on. GZDR for Ev says, why was the Afro hairstyle accepted in the 60s and 70s? You know what it represented. The fist was the Black Power movement, but how did it relate to their hair? In a lot of ways, it kind of completed the image. It was actually a sign of freedom. And honestly, it wasn't accepted in the 60s and 70s. It was forced into acceptance because people started filing in because that was the Black Power movement. It was a part of it. A lot of the Panthers were wearing it like that because Kathleen Cleaver did. And she had a lot of other black women that were wearing their hair froze. The biggest thing about it was just a sign. It was a movement. And that movement created that acceptance because once, as we know, when something gets popular, especially if it comes from the black community, it becomes a part of pop culture. You know what I'm saying? How many people got locks now versus 20 years ago? How many people be rocking twist fades, different styles? How many rappers be growing their hair out now? How many white rappers have had braids before?
Shout out to my uncle.
Right.
He had been rocking them for the longest.
Right.
And that was the first time within few people until I started to get older where I actually seen people with locks.
Right. I got an uncle that's like that too. My Uncle Ricky. My grandmother used to grill him so bad about his hair. But look, and he keeping his long and flourishing. It's got some grays in there, but it's popping. He keep his on point, But my thing is, what is considered normal is always subjective. You know what I'm saying? So you actually kind of answered your own question. The Black Power movement was in some way part of what popularized it, because then the musicians and the artists got a hold to it and they caught the Black Power bug as well. And they popularized it even further by actually showing it in their videos and their performances, right? The people were trying to go back to their roots and not just trying to pacify white society to try to fit in. Exactly. Thank you, Kiki. And that's true. Yes. It was associated with the blackface and afro because of the Black Power movement. It was living a more natural lifestyle, and white people associated it with the hairstyles. Yes, because Black Power got associated so easily and so readily with so many different things because of where it came from. It came from the Black Panthers, and a lot of them had afros. A lot of them had natural hair. And because it wasn't even just afros, it was the fact that they were wearing their hair in their natural state and men weren't conking their hair. If you haven't heard of a conk, it's like a perm but worse because it was used with lye. You would literally burn your hair into place. And you had to do it regularly, like every week or so. That's another reason why a lot of our grandparents ain't got no hair. For real, just saying. Because they experimented with things that they shouldn't have. Because using homemade products and chemicals to do that to your hair, when you really look at it now, it's so nonsensical. And one of the jacked up things that happened is I remember I still had my fro out. I was a junior in high school, and we read an excerpt from Get Shorty where Malcolm X was talking about the first time that he got his hair conked. Do you not realize, and he's describing the excruciating pain and the suffering that you have to go through in order to get your hair like that. Why? Why, oh why? And this is a sign that some people do not pay attention to the offered material and do not read or do not understand the concept of required reading. Because, of course, one of the white kids is going to look at my hair, look at my fro, and be like, hey, we should conk Nick's hair. If looks could kill, I probably would have disintegrated that child. Because I'm like, you will not touch my hair. I will cut you. I will stab you. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's the problem. That actually is part of the problem, is that when you're being given the context of why this is a harmful thing to us as a people, because there are people who have actually had chemical burns from perms that have been done improperly. People who have ended up suffering from alopecia, people who have ended up suffering in various ways and had to go to the hospital because their hair is being treated improperly by people who are supposed to be licensed professionals that don't know how to do black hair. All they know how to do is slap a perm in and then straighten it out. Okay? Look, Shy. What's up, Shy? Look, I wasn't kidding. Hey, look. Hey, I had to defend my honor back in high school, bro. But nah, for real. It's the literal fact that they ignored that context of the damage that is being done for people to try to look acceptable to you. And instead, you play it as a joke and say, well, it'd be interesting if we did this to him. So even in that moment, you still consider my hair to be a science experiment to you, as opposed to being a part of me, you know?
Right.
And that is a problem. That is a problem. Because the perception of what naturally comes out of my hair, out of my head being considered unacceptable to you, and so unacceptable to you that you want to put chemicals in it to get it to change, is problematic. If it's a choice that black person wants to make, so be it. That's them. That's their life. That's their hair. But if it's something that has been forced onto them because either due to colorism, racism, sexism, any sort of any of these other lovely isms that we don't like to talk about all the time, then that is a significant problem. Because what you're doing is you're creating a generational curse. Where suddenly what y'all consider unacceptable is what we consider unacceptable.
Right. And God forbid that it be anything that has to do with the identity of a person.
Right.
Now you got a person who have to deal with image and identity issues.
Yes.
Potentially for the rest of their life.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people transition into mental illness that way. Because remember, mental illness, typically illnesses aren't things that you're born with.
No. They come as a result. Yeah, they come as a result of either internal or external strife or stimuli. These are things like, case in point, the way that I know that the way that I treat my hair and the fact that I always have to have it looking a certain way and the fact that sometimes I will overdo it comes from the fact that that in my family, it was looked down upon to have your hair looking messy, to have your hair looking any type of way. And I always felt like I had to prove to my folks that that the way I wanted my hair was acceptable. So I had to make it always look clean. It had to always look clean. It had to always look on point. It had to always be uniform. So I learned how to do it myself because I got tired of paying for it. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that I did. But at the same time, I feel like I could have appreciated those years, those formative years a lot more if I had the freedom to just be a little loose sometimes, you know?
You and me both, bro.
And that's the thing. Like, one of the happiest things that happened to me was one day when I was 20 and I figured out that my hair would still form a fro because I felt like it was too long to form a fro, right? And some of it's because I had ruined my curl pattern from straightening it so much. You know what I'm saying? So it would just hang down. But like I said, a lot of these things is just learning. A lot of us are experiencing a sort of childhood or infancy in terms of our hair because we have not had the time to understand and appreciate it. You know what I mean? And it's interesting that it's even happening in the white community too, that white people who have curlier hair are now starting to have a greater appreciation for it. Because some of them have to use our products because the normal products don't work. Because their hair can be thick and curly too. You know, maybe not to the same degree. Sometimes it is to the same degree. But as a result, some of them come to use our stuff because they're like, well, the stuff my mom used to always get for me just doesn't work. The other interesting thing is when you realize that the original meaning of a perm was actually the opposite of what we think it is. See, when black folk talk about a perm, we're talking about putting chemicals in your hair to make it straighten, right? When white people talked about a perm back in the day, they were talking about taking your straight hair and putting chemicals in it to make it curl. Funny how that changes. Funny how there is a distinct difference, but it's the same word. Funny how, even though they held this standard over our heads, it was okay for them to have wavy and curly hair and even force their hair to be wavy and curly.
Funny how some of y'all be reinforcing that bullshit.
Yep.
Funny how even without that dynamic, it's still problematic and it needs to cease.
Funny how they hate on each other for it.
Man.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like I've seen a number of white guys and white girls who have curly hair and now are only starting to show it because they used to straighten the crap out of it. You know what I'm saying? So they relate more to us. Because they like, yeah, my mom used to straighten the snot out of my hair all the time. I used to hate it. I used to have to flat iron my hair every day. I'm like, you do what to your hair every day?
Huh?
What you mean every day? Yeah, every morning. Bro, I wouldn't have hair left if I did that. No. It's like, your ends is matted. And that's what I'm saying. Is a simple fact of everybody should be allowed the opportunity to love themselves in every way possible. Okay? We should be allowed to love and appreciate this existence that we call life and ourselves in this existence that we call life. Because you only get one. You only get one shot at this. You know what I'm saying? So why screw that up? You know, why make it so that we like, and that's what makes me sad sometimes is that I realize there are actually Black people that existed in this world, on this earth, in this country, that never got to love their own hair or never got to love themselves because of it. And that's sad. Let's see. GZDR for Ev says, do you think the military should change their policy on hair or haircuts, or are you okay with some institutions enforcing policy? I would say it like this. If a policy, and this is what I say about any policy, if a policy has a practical application, then yes, you should enforce it. If it does not have a practical or meaningful application other than just preferential treatment, then no, it should not be. So for the military, I know that certain gear, certain combat gear might be difficult to wear if you have longer hair or thicker hair. But here's my thing. There's also plenty of ladies that are in the military that have long hair. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it should be a preferential choice. I feel like the option should be given. Do you want to cut your hair if it's going to make you feel better or it's going to make it easier for you? But it should not be enforced.
There you go.
Because for everybody, it's different. I mean, football players be out here with full, thick dreadlocks and they got helmets on all day. So, just saying. So it's not a question of practicality. It's a question of preferential. It's a question of preferences. And no, preferential treatment should not be allowed in systems or in institutions where the primary goal has nothing to do with that preference. Let's just be real. You sending folks out to shoot niggas. What in God's name does my hair have to do with that?
Not a goddamn thing.
Okay, I'm just saying. Long as I can point, shoot, aim, and sit and know how to program a drone and know how to do the drills and everything and get my physical fitness up, okay, yeah, we good. Now, I would understand if you got like a BMI index that maybe you want to, that maybe needs to be questioned in the military, which I don't think there is. But like, you know, where you got to take a physical and you got to work out and your body mass index should be at a certain level or your weight should be at a certain level so that way you could do certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like how there is height restrictions when it comes to being in the Air Force, because if you're over 5'10", you can't fit in the cockpit of the plane properly. You know what I'm saying? If you too tall, you can't fit in there. So that makes sense. That's a practical application. But if it's something like, we just don't like how your hair looks, what's that got to do with anything?
Right.
What does that do with
you ain't gotta be immediately rude. You know,
no.
Just you know, but you can be firm.
Yes.
Be firm. Stay in your ground.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing these stories about people cutting their hair.
Right.
Like, I mean, at the end of the day, that's your choice. But damn,
did you see that story?
Compelled,
Speaking of,
you gotta do it.
Right.
Otherwise, basically, this is your one big break type thing,
right?
And everything gonna fall if you don't. Man.
Did you see that one of that high school kid who was told he had to cut his locks?
Yeah, to walk, right? To get his diploma and stuff and walk, right?
There was that one, and then the one who would have to do that in order to be allowed to continue to play on the basketball team. And I'm like, okay, what? Like, at what point? Because here's my thing. What a lot of these things boil down to is, at what point is what I'm doing infringing upon you? Because I always thought the rule was my freedoms end where yours begin. Okay? If I ain't swinging my hair around and smacking you in the face with it, I don't see what the point is. Now, if you choose to stare so hard that you run yourself into a wall, that's your choice. It was your choice to do that. I can't control your choice. You know what I'm saying? Now, other than that, I don't know what to tell you. You know, ain't really my cup of tea to radically change myself for a job that may not pay me enough or pay me equivalent to what it costs to keep and maintain my hair. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And with that, guys, you know, we're gonna wrap up here shortly.
Yeah.
And we want to leave y'all with some positive notes and some positive things as you continue to navigate this world with your nappy head ass.
Mm-hmm. Learn to love yourself. It's another part of that. Learn to love yourself and appreciate yourself in all ways. That's honestly, your body, your mind, your spirit, and yes, your hair.
I am a champion of people wearing their natural hair, regardless. Mm-hmm. But
we all team natural over here.
If for you, it keeps you from crying throughout the night. Right. If for you, that's the step that comes before you know you do something serious, and do it.
Yeah,
do whatever you need to do
to take care of yourself.
Because
Right.
Lord knows there will be people that will hate just like you.
Yeah.
In some cases, they won't even know you.
Mm-hmm.
Try to embarrass you, try to belittle you, as we know with many things.
Yes.
And if you grew up in a black household in the 90s on back, you know that a lot of stuff we were just told to just take it on the chin and keep going. Yep. Toughen up.
And sometimes we took it on the chin from our own family members.
Yeah. But we live in a different day and age now.
Right.
Where you can tell if something is not okay.
Right.
You can say that. And somebody will hear you. Actually, you'll at least have 5 people that agree with you and everything.
Because
you might even be able to start a coalition.
Because a few other people might feel exactly the way you do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like that.
Sharing is caring. There's power. There's power in information.
Yes.
So, sometimes it's just a matter of people being ignorant.
Yeah.
Educate them.
Right.
If you don't want to educate them, then just give them the sources. Tell them where to go so they can educate their damn self.
And if they don't want to be educated, then I don't know what to tell you.
Don't fool with them.
Right.
Them ain't no people you want to be around. You don't want to learn something new?
Nope.
You ain't open-minded?
Right. Get up through.
Remember, rise and grind.
Right. And I mean...
Sorry about that.
Make sure you lock the doors and good night.
Google always be on his head. But you think it was his mama. But Traveling Desi, what's up? What's good with you? I don't think we've had you on here before. It is good to see you. What's up? But yeah, legitimately, that's what we want to lean towards. We want everything we talk about goes back to, yes, lock them doors. I'm doing all right. Thank you. But, we hope that you're doing all right, because that's actually really what we're talking about. We want people to be able to appreciate themselves in all aspects, including your hair, including your appearance, including, if you want to dress up today. Look, I wore a cardigan today. I never wear cardigans. I just felt like doing something different. But if you want to do something different, you want to try something interesting, see how it works, why not? Life is short.
Yeah. And until proven otherwise, this might be it, y'all.
Yeah.
It might. We don't know yet.
And I mean, even if it ain't, it's it for this particular realm of existence.
For this part of the show.
Right.
This art.
Right. So you better appreciate whatever it is you got, I mean, that's just what that is. Like, I personally think that people should learn to truly love and embrace themselves. Like, you gotta learn to love things about yourself. No cryo sleep. Look, man, I don't know. You go look into that. You let me know.
Yeah, let me know as well.
I don't know if that's the choice I want to make, man. I don't like how my joints feel when I'm cold.
I don't think I would do that because I don't know that I want to be around that long. I don't know that. Man. It's already parts of this reality that I don't like.
Right.
I don't know what the hell
is gonna come up in the
man.
next...
You shoot me 100 years later. I don't know what the hell that's gonna look like.
Right.
Look, I don't know that I want to be there.
Beyond me, beyond that, I just don't like being cold. So
he's got a cold issue.
I got
on top of the pre-existing issue.
I ain't trying to wake up and every single joint in me is like screaming the moment I wake up. That ain't it.
But y'all, we ain't gonna belabor the point because we do want to say this for a part 2, a more traditional sit-down discussion.
Yes.
So we do want to leave you guys with a few parting gifts. As we said before, self-worth, self-love is very important. Love your hair.
Yes, please.
Just like you love all these other parts of your body and your being that you love flaunting. Include your hair in that too, because it grows up out of you.
Right. It comes from you.
It's natural. It's one of the most natural parts of you.
Right.
Furthermore,
you treat yourself right, that's what you're going to get.
We will be having an upcoming sale for this Christmas, New Year.
Let me actually go ahead and
we will be doing that
real quick.
That is something you can expect from us.
Absolutely.
Links in the description. NeRo will be posting some stuff as well.
Yep, just posted that up real quick. That is the link to our merch shop where you can actually get shirts like this and hoodies and crop top hoodies.
Yeah.
And long sleeve.
For the new year, we'll probably drop some water bottles on there because we know some of y'all gonna be headed to the gym.
Yep.
To try and get your body right. Hopefully you stick with that.
We probably heading there too at some point when we get a life.
There's a life outside of work.
Right. I don't count that.
There's there will be a New Year's stream. There should be a New Year's stream.
Yeah.
There should also be a December 26th stream as well.
Yep.
We will keep you guys posted if anything changes with that.
Mhm.
It is very close to the holidays.
Right.
We do understand people will be busy. Hell, we may even be busy. So
right. So ain't no
tentative.
telling. Ain't no telling.
Nothing's promised. We're going to try to stream December 26th.
Yes.
And is that going to be the first? Or is it going to be the second? The second.
Yeah.
We will try to make those streams happen for y'all.
Yeah.
Once again, holiday weekends, busy holiday weekends at that.
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, if we don't come through, or even if you just want to catch up, we got plenty of content. We got plenty of videos. These videos, they only stay for so long on Twitch and Facebook, but they live on YouTube.
Yes, they do.
So definitely check us out on YouTube. It is the Black in a Minute podcast on YouTube.
Right.
Also, for those of y'all who be stuck on Facebook 24/7,
Yup.
the audio pod now works. It works. If you go to the Black in a Minute Facebook page, you can listen to our audio podcast on Facebook directly in the Facebook app if you're using it on your phone.
Oh, word?
Yes, it's like that. We got it like that.
Okay.
Yes, we do. Otherwise, Spotify is the place to go. If you got an iPhone, Apple Podcasts, or Overcast, if you got an Android, Spotify, Google Podcasts is what I prefer because I be skipping through the silence, not of our podcast, of other people's because we always talking. And you can increase the speed. Google, sponsor us, please. I'm tired of giving y'all free ads.
For real.
Last but not least, y'all, like I said, definitely check us out. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Right.
We ain't famous yet, so help us get there so we can produce more dope content for y'all, so we can have more and even better merch.
And see that link right there will lead you to everything that you need. The one that's posted up right underneath us.
If you want to donate some money to us,
we need donations.
We do. We need donations.
So that way we can finance this stuff and pay rent.
If you want to buy our merch, you can go there and get it.
Yes.
If you want to support Nero's music or my spoken word poetry,
yes,
go there. If you want to support Twyman Art,
yes,
the collective who sponsors this podcast,
yes,
which also consists of a lot of other dope artists, which are painters, which are musicians, do that. Hop on that link. It's got everything there.
Yes.
Where to listen and how to support.
Yes.
That's what you're going to find on there.
Exactly. Also, we don't know. Twyman Art might be doing an open house soon. It's soon. I don't know exactly when it's going to be.
Stay tuned for that, y'all.
Yeah,
especially if you stay in the
opening.
southern Indiana, Kentucky area.
Yeah. If you've driven down Lincoln Avenue at all, you have likely seen it. If you've driven by where the Rug Doctor is, it's right next to it. You can't miss it because the artwork is actually poking through that big window in the front. Yeah,
stay tuned on that. You know, if you're big into art, in terms of art, visual art, so paintings, drawings of the sort.
It's a little bit of everything.
Sculptures, those kind of things.
Right.
I'm sure we might find a way to pop a show in there or something. We may, because art exists everywhere.
Yes.
In all forms.
Absolutely. If
you're an artist, then you know how this goes. But once again, we won't belabor the point. We will commence with a part 2 of this in the future with Black men and Black women on the panel.
Also, we will be having some audio podcast episodes coming soon.
Yeah.
We have been kind of struggling with our schedules. We're going to get caught back up.
Don't you worry. But either way, we still got plenty available if you want to listen to some. We done talked about damn near everything, and there's still more to talk about.
Yes. And if you have any suggestions on things that we should talk about, don't hesitate to hit us up.
Hell yeah. Definitely. You can drop them on the page.
Yes.
You can hit us up on Instagram. You can hit us up on Facebook. We everywhere. You hit us up individually if you got our social media handles, which are also at that same link.
Yes. And beyond that, look, don't think that your topic won't get used. We have a dedicated list of stuff that
even if it ain't next week.
We pick from it.
Even if it ain't next week.
We need to actually re-reference that.
Half of these topics is stuff that we want to talk about. The other half is stuff people bring to us.
Yeah. And we have no problem doing that.
No.
So long as it makes sense and we can talk about it, so be it.
Yeah.
We are here for the people.
But anyway, with that being said, you know, I'm gonna pass it off to NeRo to take us out because nobody does it better than he does.
Oh, you're buttering me up. I've been doing that for the
Gas
last
money,
3
bro.
weeks.
Gas money. Here you go.
I really do need some gas money. But gas card ain't working. But anyway. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Black in a Minute podcast brought to you by Twyman Art and Sid's lovely abode. I go by NeRo AnGeLo.
And I go by the DarksKing Poet. That's dark skin with a G on the end.
And we want to wish you a wonderful day, a good night. And we would like to also remind you
to love your hair
and love yourself, because only you can be you.
Facts.
And only you can be the best you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you leave, there ain't going to be nothing like you.
Bible.
So anyway, we hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, or whenever you're listening to this. Peace out.
Power.